Hi,
Welcome.
Danny. Thanks for having me.
You've got a dog in the backyard too. I was just just behind you. Thank you for coming.
That's Stella. Yeah. So
Stella. Oh,
we have a stumpy tail Smithfield blue heeler and Frankie a little Jack Russell.
oh, how
Yeah.
beautiful. Very different in sizes.
Yes. Yeah. One's full of energy and one's not full of energy.
Yeah.
Yes. But they're best
Yeah.
mates.
Oh, really? They're beautiful. There's the
Yeah.
little one. I can see that and see you now. Welcome to the show. And I probably should have told you before we went live that I often try and get for an artist's first time on the show a bit of story of your background into music before we talk about the album or the song. Is that okay if we sort
Yeah.
of get a little bit? So I know your whole family's quite musical and things, but how did you originally get involved in the industry? I know your amazing career, but tell us a bit about what drew you in to begin with.
Well, I grew up with a lot of music in our family. My dad played instruments by ear, and my mum learnt piano, so she was good at theory. But I learned a lot from my dad. He would um, play tunes, and he'd go, "You got to listen to the music," and he loved toe tapping songs. And he'd also go, "Listen to the lyrics, listen, that's beautiful," you know. So I was taught at an early age a good a good melody and a good lyric is really important. And then I ended up after uni, I ended up in a little town called Camberwell in Queensland. I grew up in the northwest Victoria in a little town just outside of Robinvale. And I ended up in Camberwell where I wrote my first song about an old buffalo shooter. And I
Yeah,
just kept writing for, yeah, Buffalo Bill.
yeah,
And I kept writing about, I felt, oh, I can do this. I can put a few words together and a few chords. I sang
yes.
it to the guy who I wrote it about, and he teared up. And I went, "Oh, the power of music! This is a really lovely thing to do." So I then ended up getting a teaching job in the Northern Territory because Camberwell was on the Queensland border, and just about
Yeah.
10 k's up the road was the Northern Territory. And the lady who was running the Shell Roadhouse at Camberwell said to me, "Sara, you're not living here all your life." And she made me apply for a job in the Territory. I continued writing songs about my life, and I went in um, a talent quest in the Territory. My mate put me in,
Yes.
Donna. Donna
Yes.
was from, I met Donna. She was another teacher. She was from Tamworth, so she knew all about country music. And she was just like, "You write country songs. Can you play us one?" And I'd
Wow.
sing her a song. And she goes, "Sar, you've got to do something with your music." So, yeah, she put me in this talent quest. And I would say about 30 run rum and coke deep,
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd
I
have to have a
jumped
few to
up on
get there.
stage because I was so nervous. Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's
Anyway,
huge.
and I got into a little College of Country Music, which
Yeah.
runs people would now know it as the Academy,
Yeah.
and it runs just prior to Tamworth, and you do a couple of weeks. And really, my career took off there. I met Garth Porter, who at the time was a
Mhm.
big time producer. He
Yeah.
was, and still is, but he was producing Lee Kernaghan, Troy Cassadaly, Gina Jeffries. I had them on
Yeah.
compact disc, and I was listening
Yes.
to them
Yeah.
in the Territory, just in love with Aussie country music.
Yes.
And from there, it just took off, and I haven't stopped. Yeah.
I I remember when you first came onto the scene with Buffalo Bill and all of those things, and it did. Your career just took off so quickly. And back then being in rural youth, it was your name, you kept hearing it. Everybody related to your music in in the country. People were listening to it, and it was music that they could sing to and actually understand. And for a lot of girls back then in rural youth, it was you were a really someone that they were able to look up to, that was a girl that sang country music that they could do it with, whereas it wasn't as big. Yes, we had Gina Jeffries, and we had a few, but it was at that time was when a lot of artists were starting to break out that were more in the female side, which was unusual back then
Mhm.
to see. So I remember all of those moments, and such an amazing career, and still doing it, and it still seems like you're enjoying what you do. I
Oh,
hope.
I love it. So and really grateful. I think this album and this past year has been a turning point in my career that I'm ever so grateful for being able to do what I love to do,
Yeah.
as a sort of a hobby and use it as work. But it's really, I think this year there's ups and downs throughout your music career, and I've been on a
Yes.
journey, and I've had four boys, and I've squeezed them in there, and through the years, and through even really recent interviews I get, where have you been? We haven't seen you. It's like, well, I have been here.
Yeah.
I've put out 8 albums. I do as much as I can, but I still have a family at home
Yes.
that we're all still together and happy. And there's a real balance of, because music takes you away all the time.
It
You
does.
always got to be on the road.
Absolutely.
And if you get really serious about it, you could do it like the old
Yes.
days, 24
Yes.
7. And you just
Yeah.
can't do that with a big family. You just
No.
can't. Otherwise, you know what would have happened if I had done what everyone wanted me to do and just been there and been present, 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 would be I probably wouldn't have a family, and I probably wouldn't
No.
have any more songs to give to people. So
Because
this year, my kids are growing up. I see the doors that they've opened a little bit. I used to
yes.
peek through, and now they're just a little bit. Well, one door
Yeah.
swung open,
Wide open.
and
Ha-
it's given me a chance to maybe get out there and do a lot more touring and stuff with this album. Yeah.
And I think with your boys too, it's showing them how important it is to support each other for a career and to do what you love to do. So at the age that they're at, they can see and take away from that these things are
Yeah.
important, and how much family need to support you to be able to help to do the things that you love. It's a great
I
lesson for
think,
them.
yeah, they do. And they understand mum's passion for music. I'm sure at times it doesn't really make sense to them because
Yes.
it's a hard one to explain. They don't get excited like I get excited about music. They just see it as mum singing that song over and over and over and over because I'm trying to get it right or I'm working on lyrics. And they're like, Mum, not that song again. Or, you know, or if I'm going away, it's like, Mum, you went last weekend. Why are you going? So to them, I'm a mum. I'm not
Yes.
a musician. To everyone else, it's like, oh, wow, what a job you've got. Isn't that amazing? But kids don't think that way. They just want you home. And I think now and then, now with the boys, I'll say, oh, your mum's the country music singer. My mum loves your music, or grandma loves her music. So that
Yeah.
sparks them up a little
Yeah.
bit, tiny.
A little. It'll get, and as they get older, it'll become more. Oh, that is actually really special. But also, when they have kids of their own, they'll see how special it is again in
They
that
might
next part of
actually
life.
listen to my back catalogue too. That'll be nice.
You never know. Hey, Mum, have you heard this song? Yeah. That is the beautiful part, to be able to see you coming back and enjoying it, and the family supporting you. In your current single, which is the title of your album, which comes out so soon, 2 more weeks, I think. I don't know what day it is today, but it's
The
very soon. 27th, is it?
27th of June.
Yeah,
Yes.
so not far away. People can pre-order that at the moment, can't they? Pre-save,
Yeah.
pre-order.
Yeah, you can jump on and pre-save. And as a little sidekick, I do painting, and I
Yeah.
have done a painting for Worth Your Love, which I have since sold, which is amazing for me. But if you pre-save, I send you a digital print
Oh,
of my painting Worth Your Love. Yeah.
oh, I love
Yeah.
that. That is so special.
Yeah. And then you can print it off and do what you like with it. Yes.
I know we're here to talk about the album, but Scott did have in the comments here that you did find a new passion in 2017 when you first started painting. Is that something you had no idea that you didn't know that you had that in you and enjoyed
Oh,
it?
I did art at uni when I was teaching, and I loved art. And they teach you all different types of art. And
Yes.
I don't even think I went back to collect all my artwork. I was so hopeless. A bit too laid back at times, Sarah. But I've always wanted to get back into my artwork and, well, back into art. And when I was in year 10, the reason why I ended up in the territory is when I was in year 10, I was watching a show on ABC, and there was some Indigenous elders, women, sitting in the dirt doing dot painting. And I was looking at their artwork and I was like, I love their artwork.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up. I'm going to teach kids in the territory. I had this thing about being up in the territory. And I ended up going to the
Yeah.
territory and teaching
Doing that.
kids. And I used to see their artwork. So my art, I guess, is a bit of both. So it's got, I love the dot artwork. And then I put a little bit of my spin on it, which there's always a little bit of humor running through it.
Yes.
You might find a little boy piddling on a log somewhere or something like that. And by the way, it doesn't look, I do stick figure people. So
Mm.
I'm not really clever, but I just do what I think is the best I can do. So,
Yeah.
and put, yeah, oh, we've got mozzies and midgies in Darwin too.
Oh,
That's what I'm
oh.
scratching. I haven't got fleas.
Well, I'm in Tassie and it's only 6 degrees here, so we're a little bit different. Scott's in Harvey Bay and he said that today it's 11 degrees, which is pretty cold for them too. So mozzies aren't here, but we do get our fair share in come the summer. It's lovely to
Yes.
hear that because it just shows that artistic side is for you as an outlet and part of you and just something that you clearly enjoy doing, which is really special to
Yeah.
find and to then be able to share it on top of that with your music. But with your current single, which is Worth Your Love, that is the title track of your coming album.
Mhm.
You did this one with your niece and she wrote that. Tell us a bit about how that came about and how
Yeah.
different would it be recording with your niece and really enjoying those moments?
Yeah. Well, all my nieces, they all can sing. They're all clever. And I knew Sammy had written, she was sort of dabbling in a bit of songwriting. She's my eldest brother's daughter, and my eldest brother is Doug Storer, who
Yes.
we wrote Raining on the Plains together. And Sammy's his youngest daughter, and she wrote it for her sister Maddie, who was getting married. And it was like a gift to Maddie. It's called Worth Your Love, of course. And it's just about giving up that relationship, that strong bond of sisterhood, and letting her go to have her own family and have her own love. And it's all worth it for the right fellow. And she
Yeah.
sang that at her wedding and at Maddie's wedding. And I said, Sammy, that's just beautiful. And can I record that? And you come on and do a duet because I don't want that song to ever go missing or be forgotten.
Yes.
Because I'm sure Sammy was like, oh, one day I will record it. But you just don't know what
Wow.
happens. And I said, well, we'll do our version. You can come back and do your version later. But let's
Yes.
get in, Sammy. And it's a beautiful song. And Sammy got into the studio, her first time in the studio. She
Oh,
nailed it.
wow.
Her voice is just incredible for someone who hasn't been in the studio before to sing like that. And it's
Yeah.
funny, she's 26 and recorded first time in the studio, and I was 26 when I went into the studio for the first time. So
Wow.
there's that lovely
Connection.
connection there. Mm.
So special. Was she as nervous as you that first day in the studio? It's different to what they
Oh, it's
expect a lot of the
very.
time.
I'm still learning, and every time I go into the studio, I think I learn a little bit more just on how to sing better on a microphone,
Yeah.
how to really engage in a song. I
Yes.
listened to my first album, Chasing Buffalo, and I cringe at my vocals. And I cringe because, not in a bad way, because it's what it was, and it was me, and it was part of my journey. But
Yes.
I didn't really sing the song. I was too busy worrying about singing in key and singing so I sounded good instead of actually singing the song
Mhm.
and being
Yes.
right in there in it and feeling the emotions. And because it's my biggest tip out there for anyone who is becoming a songwriter, or getting your songs out there, or you've been around forever, I always say every song you sing to somebody, whether it be a small, tiny crowd or whether it's a huge crowd, sing it like
Yes.
it's the first time you're singing it or it's going to be the last time you sing it, because
Yeah.
then you just give it your everything. And that's it really makes a difference on stage when you do that, when you give it your all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. It sells the song. Coming into an industry, it's interesting because I'm very fortunate to be able to see the industry from being inside the industry and having that understanding, but also as a fan. And
Yeah.
when I listen to a song for the first time, I often say on the show, I don't read until I have listened to the song. I don't read the press release. I don't want to read that until I've heard that song and got the
Yeah.
feelings and the
Wow.
emotions straight away. And it's the same thing. You
Hmm.
can tell when somebody is singing a song and tell when somebody's involved with the song and understands the song and giving it their best version of what they want it to tell.
Yeah.
And I think country music in particular in Australia, that is something that's probably the most important part of it in Australian music.
Oh,
Definitely.
it helps, and it helps with nerves. It took me a long time to work out, and I would say albums until I worked out that you know, when you're on stage and you patter in between songs and you'll talk and you're nervous and that, then you go into the song and those nerves are sitting there messing with you.
Yes.
If I wave them goodbye and go, see ya, I'm going actually into this song and why I wrote it, and forget about everything else, and then I go into the song. I
Wow.
sing, I sing it like I haven't sung it before, and people feel, and I get emotional, and it's, yeah, it really helps for people, especially for people who do struggle with nerves and that.
Yeah.
Just leave everything behind and get into the song. Yeah.
Yep. Do it for because you're doing it for the song and for you to the purpose of telling the story. Kaz
Yes.
actually popped a song. You probably know Kaz very well. Kaz knows everybody, but she actually said she's looking forward to reviewing your album in 2 weeks. Or
Oh,
yeah, so oh
wow.
my
Oh,
gosh, Kaz,
thanks, Kaz.
you have to send it through so we can put it on the page when you do, Kaz, because your reviews are always so good, so
Oh,
much fun to
I look
read.
forward to it. I love reviews. You just don't know what to expect.
No,
So,
that's what I
Kaz,
love.
I'll slip you $50 in the car park if that helps.
Oh dear. She said that, and she said, very talented family that you were from as well. And Jonathan is also in the comments
Thank
saying
you.
happy Wednesday. He's watching from the UK, and he stays up to
Ah,
all hours to watch us. He's such a wonderful person. Um,
hi,
eighth solo.
Jonathan.
This is your eighth solo album. It's interesting hearing you talk about nerves and things because it shows how much it means to you. But it's, eighth solo album, and you still find those moments. You still have to remind yourself to sing a song and forget about the nerves. I think that obviously that's something that doesn't go away, but I also think it's really great that it doesn't go away because it shows that you're still passionate about what you're delivering. Um, what does it feel like, 2 weeks out or a bit over 2 weeks out till the release? How does it feel building up to that moment? Is it nerves? Is it excitement? What does that lead up do for you?
It's a crazy lead up now because you drop singles before
Yeah,
your album comes out. So you already dropped three songs, and they're
yeah,
your three. There's sort of, if you, back in the old days, you would drop them after the album. So you sort of, everyone's got to hear three songs and then get to hear the rest. Um, I'm getting used to that. It's good
yes,
though, because I think when I'm looking forward to someone's music coming up, and and then they drop another single, I get so
yes,
excited, and I go, I
yes.
can't wait for the rest of the album.
Correct. Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's always a great, a wonderful thing, because well, for me anyway, I want to try and do better than the last. And this album is a bit different. Again, there's a bit more meat on the bones on the songs, a little bit more radio friendly, I guess you could say. And I do a lot more like this is what I want. I want a little bit more of this. And over the years, I think, we just keep getting closer and closer. And I'm loving this. There's lots of keys. It's just a bigger sound. I can't wait
Mm.
for everyone to hear it. And yeah.
It is a different world, and I agree. I love that you do get a bit of a teaser, but I'm an album person as well. I think it's really exciting to hear what an artist picks for us to listen to first, like your three
Mm.
singles. And I'm always I love those tracks that often aren't radio tracks, but it's always interesting to hear what ones that you guys choose and the reasoning behind choosing to release them when you do. Is that a hard process for you, because there's quite a few songs on your album to pick, one or two or three of your favorite
Yeah.
children almost?
Yeah.
Is that something that you really think about, or you just go with what your gut's telling you at the time?
Yeah, it is difficult because you want to come out with a bit of an impact. But you want to showcase what the album kind of feels like and what all the songs genuinely feel like. So, uh, you can sort of, there's certain songs that are just better radio friendly, that just go through radio, that have that boppy sound, that
Yeah.
when you're driving along in your car, that work
Yes.
for radio, and you have to sort of go down that line a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's other songs that probably necessarily wouldn't be for radio, but they're just as powerful, and they just have their moments and their place in certain people's lives for certain
Absolutely.
reasons,
Yeah.
to get people through their day, for happy, sad, whatever, or just doing the vacuuming,
Yes.
music.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, the next single off the album, so that'd be the fourth. I've got
Mm.
no idea. I've probably got about a handful that I could go now. It's sort of like, all
Wow.
right, the first three I think were easy, and now it's getting hard. They all
Yes.
tend to be very equal on my part,
Okay. Yep.
how I feel.
Yes.
But and again, track order, that's
Yes.
nearly like writing a song. That took me
Stress.
weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's different again. People don't just get the album, they stick it in a player, and then they have to listen through that story of storytelling. And now, people are going to stream, they're going to stream for so long. And then they're out
Yes.
of there and they're going to stream something
Yes.
else. So you have to have a big you have to get them early. Um,
Hmm.
but that is
Absolutely.
difficult because some of your beautiful, slower songs, you want them up the front, but you're scared if you put
You
them
need to
too
draw
early
them in. Hmm.
to really, yeah. Anyway,
It's interesting.
one day
I
I'll
do
nail
not
that.
envy that. Okay. I love it. It's interesting because I do love listening to the story that they tell it in the order that you guys put them in. And I can 100% understand that, because a lot of people, I think the first place you listen to music is in the car quite often.
Yeah,
And so you do want that when someone puts your album on in the car and goes for a drive, they do need that boppy song to get them into the moments and then build up for
yeah,
those slower
yeah.
songs. But sometimes the story needs to be told the other way. So it must be really hard to try and work them in so that they make sense as a whole as well as individually. Um, and that
Yeah,
makes it even more difficult.
back when it was just CD, it was really important. It was
Yeah.
really, really important, the flow. Now you do it, it's still hard work, but in the end, you just go, oh, that'll do, because they're going to quickly run through the songs anyway, and they're going to add them to their
Exactly.
playlist, the ones they
Yeah.
really like. They're just going to naturally go, boom, over there, put them in the playlist. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely. And Kaz said she's an album person, and I know Kaz is like me. She likes to read it back to front and go through it, and she likes to get the whole story, not just a chapter of.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had much of a chance to play some of these songs live yet before releasing? Have you had good feedback so far?
Yeah, I've snuck two songs on the set list that haven't been released. One being 175, because it just sums up me and my life and my kids and music all in one, and it's a real up temp, it's a good vibe song.
Yes.
and I stick that in, and I'm loving it live. And it's good because what you think sometimes will go over well live, it doesn't, and they're better just kept for the album.
Yes.
And I've done the cover too because I talk about my boys in the footy. I've done a cover of a Pat
Yes.
Benatar song, and I do a different version of it. Mine's a bit dark and
Oh,
yeah, very different to Pat's version. But I wouldn't replace one of my own songs with a cover unless it was for a very good reason, and that being I
yeah.
play it for to the boys as they're heading to foot as we're going to footy. I pump them up with this song and Eye of the Tiger, and there's a few songs. So I thought I'd love to do
I
my own
love that.
version. So I've snuck that in. It's so much better to sing live. I love it more singing it live than the actual album version. So
Oh,
there
wow.
you
There
go.
you
Yeah.
go. So
Mm,
there's even more of a thing to get out to see you at some of your shows. And you do have quite a few shows coming up for the rest of the year.
yeah.
You've got quite a
Yeah.
bit coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
On
the
on
door
the
has opened a little bit more, and I'm able to lock in a few more gigs,
It's
which
fantastic.
is great. And there'll be more to come, but that yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I'm thinking, oh, kids are gonna go crook, hubby's gonna go crook. He thinks I go away, and I'm on holiday when I go and do my gigs. I say I am actually working,
Yes. Yeah,
and
you're not going away for fun. You are having fun, but it's work. It is work. You're getting paid to do
he
it, at least.
Yeah, he knows I love it and I have so much fun. So he calls it I'm going on holiday. But
Yeah,
anyway, it's
but you
all
are
good.
working. Do you get a chance for them to get out and see a bit of the country with you as well while you're on it? Because you don't see much when you're on tour. I know you're one town to the next, but do you going to try and get them to some of the shows with you?
Sometimes it's hard when they're in school now. You can't
Yeah.
just keep dragging them out. I do it every now and then. Tamworth's always a good one where they
Yes.
sometimes are there and sometimes it just doesn't work out and I just go to
Yeah.
Tamworth on my own. Other times we'll grab a car and we'll drive to Tamworth and they're
Yeah.
involved and they love it. And wherever possible, yeah. And
Yes.
again, I don't think they get it as oh, I'm getting to go to a Sara Storer concert. It's just mum, and they're like, hurry! How long? When can we get back to the motel so I can eat all the chips and the lollies and.
Where's the swimming pool? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Cameron popped in and he said that in a comment, he said he was pretty sure he bought your first album at a gig that you did in Forbes. And it's
Oh,
interesting
thanks,
thinking
Cameron.
of I love that comment.
Yeah.
And when you were talking a moment ago about your first album and even and then you discussed, the song that you did with John, um, I remember you did a Launceston gig and it popped into my head clear as day. You were
Yeah.
doing the film clip with John the next week, and you'd
Ah,
been really, working up to it, and you talked about it on the stage, and it just when he put that message, it just popped into my head, and I thought, oh wow, because so many people have so many memories of that album.
oh, and
And
how old were you? Like three,
oh,
two at the
yeah,
time?
that's right. Yes. No, I reckon I would
You
have
would have been a
been 12,
whippersnapper.
13.
Yeah.
12
Oh,
or 13, I
wow.
think. I'm 40. I'm nearly 40. End of the year. Still got a few months
Yeah.
in my first.
Do you know,
Just
in saying that, like, so you're now in your 40s, yeah, or hit your
just
40s?
about hit 40
Just
on New
about.
Year's Eve. I hit 40 on New Year's Eve.
Well, oh, well, happy birthday. That's lovely. Um, I just noticed, I think a full circle in my audience. It's hard to explain, but if I go back a few years, I was like, "Well, where is everyone? This
Yes.
is getting hard. Why?" And now there's a real turn, and there are middle aged people,
Yeah.
40s, 50s, 60s,
Yes.
more so that 40 bracket mark coming with their kids to my show. And I can see that what you
Oh,
went through as a young
yeah.
person, now you're bringing your kids. And
Absolutely.
it's just given me the biggest skip in my step, really, to think, oh, no, everything's fine. It's
It's so
just come full circle, I think.
strange.
Yeah.
And I think, back when I was listening to country music and I was a very traditional country music, it, at school, it wasn't cool. it wasn't popular. It wasn't like you were the odd kid out because you listened to country music, and I was stubborn and I was proud to say it, and I didn't care what everyone else thought. But I love the fact that people have done that full circle and they're coming to your concert and bringing their kids. But country music is not uncool anymore. It's not something that people are teasing you because you listen to country music. And it's so special
Yeah.
that circle has happened, and also the kids are actually enjoying doing things like that as well.
We were ahead of the game, you and I. We
Yes,
were
we
way
were.
ahead of the
We
game
were.
years
That's right.
ago. I was
Kaz,
the same. I get teased too, so I
yes,
get it. And yeah,
yeah,
they should have listened to us.
that's right. That's right. I love it when I'm working on at a gig and I see people that I went to school with that on and remembering their thoughts, and I just sit there thinking, this is the best moment. I told you so's in my mind,
Told you so,
very
yeah.
strong. Kaz said that she's 62 and she's followed you from the start. And Cameron said that country was always cool. It just took everyone else 25 years to catch up. That's right.
That's right, Cameron. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Now I know I've held you up and you've got so much to do tonight, but thank you so much for joining us. Before
Thank
we
you.
go, I always like to check, where is the best place to keep up with your music, your tours? Is your website, is social media? What's the best platform for you?
Yeah, just jump on my website. All those dates that you saw then are all up, and you can just hit the link and it takes you to the event and ticket sales, all of that. And also, I jump on Facebook and Instagram and just sort of keep things updated there. If I'm getting close, if I'm a couple of weeks out, hey, don't forget I'm coming to here and there.
Yeah,
It's just the way now. Just got to keep on those social media platforms to find out if I'm coming near you.
how
Yeah.
exciting. And where is the photo that we just had up? Where is that? What wall is that?
Oh, that's Darwin. So I just did a little
Oh,
photo shoot. Yeah, and there's murals all around Darwin at the moment. They're really
oh,
cool. I'm probably a
beautiful.
little bit close to the end of that. Oh no, no. It actually looks the end, but it's actually the leg. But it
Yeah,
looks
it is
like
like
the other end actually. Too late, it's
I
out there
didn't notice
now.
that then you put that up and then you said that, I'm like, oh, I hadn't thought of it like that. But it just, yes, I love murals. I love,
Yeah.
when you come down, I know you're doing a show at Matt Fell's venue in November, and I hope you get to have a bit of a look around because we've got a town there
Yes,
called
Sheffield.
Sheffield. Yeah, it's stunning, all the murals, and I just stand there thinking, how amazing are these artists to do? It's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah.
Um, Hi,
Oh, how
Jen.
far
Thank
are
you.
you from Sheffield? How far
I'm in
away?
Evandale, which is Evandale's right next to the airport in Launceston.
Oh,
So
you have to come
yeah.
to one of the
Oh,
shows.
I definitely will. I will definitely. I'll come
Yeah,
to actually. You've got some really nice venues I noticed coming up, so it's really exciting.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, we'll
Thank you so
sort that.
much.
Yeah.
We definitely will. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Absolutely loved hearing your story. I cannot wait to hear the full album. Everybody, if you haven't already, we've had on the screen and it's in the comments as well that if you scan the QR code, you can pre-save, pre-order on whatever platform you prefer. And make sure if you are anywhere near any of the gigs, grab your tickets so you don't miss out.
Yeah. Thank
Because
you.
it'll sell quickly. So make sure you get in and get them early.
Thank you, Danny.
Um,
Thanks, Scott. And
Thank you
thanks for
so
all
much.
those beautiful comments, everyone. Thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, we'll be back next week. We've got a few nights with double shows, so stay tuned and we'll get them up as soon as we can. And have a great night, everybody. See you guys.